This is a Zach Feldman Show replay on ZRadioLIVE.com.
The website music station, ZRadioLIVE. This is the Zach Feldman Show. Joining me over the phone is an author. She has a brand new book out called The Tiger and the Ox, Strange Bedfellows. It is Julia Dennis Frazier. Julia, thank you so much for joining me here on the Zach Feldman Show. How's everything going?
Thank you very much for allowing me to come in and express myself about my book. And I want to really introduce myself. I'm a 85-year-old black woman.
Well, hell yeah. Well, listen, I'm glad that you're still creating some great stuff out there. You've released a lot of books in your time, but one of them obviously is superior than the other, and it's this one. It's this series called The Tiger and the Ox, and you said it was a 5-book series, right?
Yes, it is.
So tell me all about tell me about what it's about.
It's about one family, and this man who met the love of his life in Montreal, Canada. And this lady, she came up to visit with her 2 best girlfriends, and they went to a disco, and she met this guy named Raphael. And he is half French and half Canadian. He took a liking to her for some reason or another. I mean, all the women in Montreal, he took a liking to her, and he wanted to come to the United States just to date her. Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, that's a far trip, isn't it?
Yes. And when she pointed out to him, well, why would you come all the way from Montreal to date me? And I live in New York City. I mean, the women here in Montreal must be dogs. That's the way she put it, But then he said, well, I used to live in New York City, and it takes about as long on a plane ride as it does from coming from Long Island, even the boroughs. So he wants to see her. And he decides to come, and he does visit her, and he falls in love with her.
That's amazing. Did you come up with this story? Is it inspired by, some true events?
It's inspired.
Well, tell me about what inspired it.
It's totally fiction. It's totally fiction, but it is inspired by the love of my life, the way I met the love of my life.
Well, tell me about meeting your love of your life too. You've been obviously together for such a long time too.
Actually, it's kind of a sad story. We did not have many years together before he died.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yes. But I haven't enjoyed my life since he had died. I write my books. And like this book is about erotic love. But it's a twist to it. It starts with a man and a woman, like most love stories. But this man is extremely controlling. And he's dangerous sexually. He likes to make women do what he wants them to do. So he fell in love with Jimmella, but Jimmella had 2 very close friends. And he saw that he could not separate her from her best friends. So he decided to take all 3 of them. And this became a polyamorous relationship.
Well, let's talk about your husband a little bit. Obviously, I'm very sorry he passed away, but, I want to know kind of, who he was as a person, what kind of, what happened to make you, kind of inspire you to write this with, with him in mind.
The way I say he inspired me is little snippets of him and I in the books. Now, with my true love, my lover, he was 10 years younger than I was when I met him. And this man in the book is 6 years younger than Jimmella. So that's all through the books. That is a little bit of my life intertwined with these characters' lives.
Well, so where do you see yourself kind of in the book then? Are you considered the tiger or the ox?
I'm the tiger.
You're the tiger. That's good to know.
I'm the tiger. Actually, when I created this title, I found out that I was born in the year of the tiger in the astrological Chinese signs.
And you didn't know that before you wrote the book?
I have heard about it, but I didn't really concentrate on it. But
that's a great coincidence, though.
Yeah. So, but that's why I said the tiger, and the ox is the sign that my lover was born under. And the reason why I said strange bedfellows is like the Democrats and the Republicans. They don't really get along in true life, but yet they do. They have to. Some animals do not coexist with other animals. But with Jimmy and I, we did. Even though he was younger and he had different lifestyle than I did. So that's why I said the tiger and the ox, strange bedfellows.
It's interesting too. You wrote a few other books too back in the past. One of them being The Last became the first, and then The Silence also was another book you wrote too. But this is kind of your first true romantic book. Was that new to you as well?
No, the first one was mostly about me and my son, but the second one is about Jimmy and I, and it was completely romantic. And the things that we did together, we did some unconventional things together, and that's why Raphael and the characters in the books are doing unconventional things, because that's what me and Jimmy did.
Well, what are some of the unconventional things you guys used to do?
That you're talking about the book now, right?
Well, I'm talking about in general, about life too. What did you guys do that was so unconventional?
Well, first of all, with Raphael, I made him larger than life. In other words, he's more than the average person. Mm-hmm. He, like I had said before, he's a controlling, domineering man, but this is what these three women liked. Mm-hmm. They wanted to be controlled by him. And he not only controlled them in big ways sexually, he made sure that there was no jealousy between them. He treated them good. He made legal papers and said that if anyone wanted to leave the relationship, they would get a substantial sum of money. Mm-hmm. But while they was with him, they had to be completely loyal to him. And he liked it he liked the submission. He wanted them to submit to whatever desires he liked. And this might throw you a little bit. As much as he loved Jimmella and her girlfriends, Joy and Tiki, he still had another dark side.
Mm. And what was that?
He was bisexual.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Isn't it now? Are we talking about the character? Or are we talking about actually him? Was he actually bisexual?
I'm talking about him, Raphael. Not. That's what I'm talking about. And he had a best friend. In fact, he had desires for him, but they never act on it. They went to college together, and now they're friends. Adults, working adults, and everything. But after he acquired his three women as wives, eventually he decided to go and get his best friend, and they became lovers. But he incorporated them all into this polyamorous family.
Interesting. It's such a romantic book, obviously, because there's so many different little twists and turns in it. And obviously there's 5 books in the series too. I want to ask you quickly, what did it take to write all 5 books? Was it easy to write, or was it a daunting task?
It was easy to write. The words that the characters spoke to each other and everything, it just came to me so easily. And the reason why I wrote 5 is because they evolved. They became more mature. They stopped doing certain things. They incorporated other family members, the parents, the in-laws, all of them came in together. And eventually, they had children. He had children with all four of his wives. And so the last two books that is written in the series is about how he raised these children and how did they acquire what they did. Their genes was, their parents was freakish, you know, but yet they was elite. They have great genes. They went to the best colleges, and they got their lawyers and journalists and all of that. But yet their partners and what they like is completely freakish, just like their parents.
Again, we're talking about The Tiger and the Ox. It's a series, and we're talking with Julia Dennis Frazier, the author of the book. And I have to ask you this too. You know, you started writing back in 1994. You wrote your first book, With Silence, and then you wrote The Last Became the First in 2016. Then you had this like big break between that and writing this new book. This new series. I mean, was there just like a break in being creative, or was it hard to kind of pick it up again?
It was. I did not. That's a good question, because I did not think I could write a book that was totally fiction, because the other books was nonfiction. It's based on my life. So I didn't think I could write a fiction. So that's why that break is in between. It's just one day I said, I'm going to try to write a book that's completely fiction. And I sat down and I started writing it in longhand. And then I got on the computer, and these characters, the way they interact with each other and everything, it just flowed through my hands.
And they came to life.
I love them. I love them. To this day, I love them.
Well, that's the best, and I'm excited for people also to love them too when they go check out the book. Julia, where can people buy the book? Where can people find the series?
Well, my website, I have a website, Power and Submission. If they go to that website will tell them how they can buy the book.
Awesome. It's powerandsubmission.com. Yes. You can go there and buy the book. Julia, what's next in your biography, in your author career? What is next in the in the series, or are we going in a different route next? What's the plan?
I have written a manuscript already about a woman. This time I decided to veer away from the man being the dominant one. I have written a book about a woman and how she brought things into her life that chose to be. But also, I'm also in the process of writing more about the Lucrece family, the second generation, more about them. But Raphael is still very, very prominent in it. He's still in control of his family, his adult family. So I have those two books. One I'm still working on, and the other one is completed, but I haven't published it yet.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait for our listeners to take a look at that as well. But if you want to check out the brand new book, the brand new series that's out now, it's called The Tiger and the Ox. Head over to powerandsubmission.com. You can buy it there. Julia, thank you so much for joining me here on the Zach Feldman Show, and best of luck with everything, and best of luck with the career too.
Thank you so much for inviting me to discuss my books. I love them, and I'm quite sure anyone who buys the books will enjoy. And each time you read one, you'll want the other one. You'll keep on reading them until you're all finished.
I hope so too. And seriously, best luck with everything. The Web City Music Station, ZRadioLIVE.